In all the parks and all the cities in all the world, there is not one statue erected to a committee. The quote is often attributed to Winston Churchill, but I suspect it traces back to a quote by British writer G.K. Chesterton, who said, "I've searched all the parks in all the cities and found no statues of committees." But whoever originated the quote, the meaning is clear. Leadership matters. It matters to get anything accomplished. After cavorting around Africa and Europe for a couple of weeks and ignoring the rail blockades and protests in Canada, encouraging dialogue and saying that his government did not tell the RCMP what to do, the Prime Minister finally returned back to Canada on the weekend. While no one, let alone veteran members of the RCMP, believe that. Members are constantly told that their commanders have to check with Ottawa to make a decision, to get anything done. Now, after 3 days of meeting with his lightweight group of sycophantic cabinet ministers dubbed the Incident Response Group, the Prime Minister has decided that the barricades must come down. Essentially, he said the same thing on Friday at his press conference that Andrew Scheer said in the House of Commons on Tuesday. Comments that Trudeau decried and used it as an excuse to decline to invite Scheer to a meeting of all party leaders to discuss the developing situation. Hypocrisy, apparently thy name is Trudeau. Anyway, to be fair, it also took a conference call amongst all of the premiers on Wednesday to discuss their response after the PMO suggested it was up to the provinces to determine how to deal with the blockades. On Thursday, Quebec Premier François Legault called upon the Prime Minister to put an end to the blockades and put a finite date on that. Well, that did it. One word from Quebec and Trudeau jumps. He held a press conference late Friday, saying the blockades must come down. But after saying his government didn't control the National Police Force just days earlier, he didn't say just exactly how that might occur if the so-called protesters declined his kind invitation. He was asked if he might use the military, and he said something to the effect that the military would never be used against Canadians, conveniently forgetting the fact that his father imposed martial law on the country during the October crisis in 1970 and deployed the military to the streets of Montreal. So far, RCMP Commissioner Brenda Lucki has shown precious little leadership from her end of things. There is little to indicate she has any appetite to confront the protesters, and one wonders if she has the intestinal fortitude to give the requisite order to enforce injunctions and take down the barricades and get the economy moving again. It's not clear how any of this will end, but end it must. If only we had a real leader somewhere.